Lately, I've become quite popular in the neighborhood, especially among the grandmothers. After graduating from college, I was at a loss without a job, pacing anxiously about my future. One day, my uncle, who lived nearby, told me he was providing services for seniors in the area and suggested I come and learn the ropes. I started helping out with office work at his center. My uncle encouraged me to get certified, saying there was a written exam, but it was manageable and having a national certification could come in handy later in life. So I began studying for the certification. I enjoyed learning new things during the lectures and passed the exam on my first try. The practical training was tough, but I persevered, seeing it as a passing phase. I was working at my uncle's center when suddenly I was called to assist an elderly person at their home. The senior needed immediate care, and there were no caregivers readily available, so I was sent. My assignment was at the home of a senior suffering from spinal stenosis named Emily. There was food prepared by her daughter, so I only needed to help with simple meals, daily walks, and personal hygiene assistance. I had experience managing a household from my college days living alone, so I didn't find it difficult to provide these services. Emily was very dignified and had a youthful demeanor, and her daughter, who lived with her, appreciated the help a young person provided. Going from office work to hands-on service felt rewarding and gave me a sense of purpose. I provided service at Emily's house from 9 in the morning to noon, 3 hours daily. One day, Emily was suffering from constipation, a painful condition for her. I quickly donned sanitary gloves and assisted her with her issue. Although she was embarrassed to receive such help from a young man, I reassured her and handled the situation with care. It wasn't easy, but I remembered reading about such scenarios during my training. Although it seemed challenging to help someone who wasn't family, I learned that this was quite common. Understanding how dangerous constipation could be for seniors and seeing Emily's relief and smile made me feel fulfilled in my work. Because of my service to Emily, I was referred to another neighbor, Sophia, who also needed caregiving. Sophia requested my services for the afternoon. Emily had praised me so much that she insisted no one else was needed, and she wouldn't consider anyone else for the job. She asked specifically for me, so I informed my uncle that we had a new client at our center, all thanks to Emily's high regard, which led to another grandmother seeking our services. He was thrilled with the news. I had heard that Emily takes a bath once a week, assisted by her daughter. But one day, her daughter had an unexpectedly busy schedule and couldn't help Emily with her bath. She apologized to me and asked if I could make sure Emily didn't slip while bathing. I agreed and waited outside the bathroom door for Emily to finish her bath. To my surprise, Emily asked me to help scrub her back. It felt a bit unusual helping someone of my grandmother's age with such a personal task, but I did it. Emily was overjoyed, saying it had been a long time since she had enjoyed a shower so much. I even helped her dry her hair with a dryer. Watching her slowly dress herself, maintaining her independence, was heartwarming. My role was to support her in what she could do, so I simply observed and ensured her safety. After her bath, Emily slept contentedly, and I tidied up her room. Unexpectedly, Emily woke up and asked me to lie down beside her. I politely declined, but she insisted, not wanting her offer to be ignored. Lying beside her, I listened to stories of her life. Emily, once vibrant and active, now found it difficult to leave her house and felt deeply saddened by this. I comforted her, and she expressed how much she appreciated a fine young man visiting her home daily, saying these were her happiest days. I sensed her loneliness, and we awkwardly shared a moment. The next day, Emily couldn't look me in the eye, and I felt the same, but I understood her feelings and her silent request for companionship. After performing my contracted services, Emily and I spent quality time together. promising to keep our shared moments confidential. In the afternoon, I visited Sophia, who enjoyed storytelling. Although she could manage household chores, her pace was noticeably slower. Sophia loved reminiscing about the past, and I emphasized the importance of fine motor exercises for her well-being. She mentioned her sister lived in the countryside and often sent various farm products by mail. Taking advantage of this, I engaged Sophia in activities like sorting beans and peeling garlic while we chatted. She was grateful for the company and the help, especially since she struggled with severe incontinence. One day, after running out of adult diapers, she had an accident in her cotton panties. Embarrassed, she hurried to the bathroom to clean up, but soon after, I heard a loud thump. Sophia had fallen in the bathroom. I rushed in to find her embarrassed and on the floor. I quickly helped clean and escort her back to bed. As she recounted her past, she broke down in tears, mourning the loss of her once athletic prowess. I consoled Sophia and she eventually fell asleep. When it was time for me to leave, she pleaded to keep what happened a secret, and I assured her that I remembered nothing. Days later, through Sophia's referral, I met another senior in her late 60s named Olivia, who, despite being mobile, had been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Here's the continuation of your story translated into American English with cultural nuances considered and English names retained. After finishing my afternoon service, I headed to Olivia's house. Olivia insisted on having me and nobody else, so I began visiting her after my other appointments. With her condition, she often repeated herself. I spent time with her doing puzzles and folding paper crafts. One day, she even called me her grandchild and gave me a crumpled dollar bill from her purse to buy candy. Another day, she mistook me for her husband, saying she was shy but ready to consummate their marriage. I was deeply moved by her sincere belief and hugged her tightly. Olivia got ready with such earnestness, preserving her dignity as much as possible. I helped her get dressed as she insisted she had things to do with her husband. The experience with Olivia was surprising despite her age. She was quite spry, reminding me that age is indeed just a number. I provide this service daily to 3 grandmothers. Sometimes, after calming Olivia, who playfully suggests having a baby, and calls me her husband, she lightly snores away in sleep. The next day, she greets me as teacher. The grandmothers always keep their promises to me. I feel a sense of responsibility knowing these women, who've been through tough times and lost their spouses, now rely on me. One day, after providing service at Emily's home, she asked me to wait a moment before leaving. She shyly offered me a tomato saved, especially for me, a gift from her daughter. I tried to decline, suggesting she keep it, but she insisted that I take it to share with my parents. Sophia expressed her gratitude for handling even the disposal of her adult diapers by giving me some of her farm produce. Olivia, referring to me affectionately as her husband, gave me a pair of long, warm socks to keep me cozy. However, I couldn't just be on the receiving end. I bought the lovely lady some snacks and pretty sleep socks. You might wonder how a young man can do this job, but I like to think of them as my grandmothers, and that makes all the difference.